What you're about to see are passionate, dedicated, and trained people practicing and preparing to enter an extreme sporting event that may change their lives. Do not try this on your own without necessary experience and supervision.
Breathe in, breathe out. This moment's what it's all about. Want to be great, your goal awaits. Don't hesitate, accelerate.
Set for the race, aim to give it all I got. Mind is set, gonna reach the high spot. Working hard in order to fulfill my goal. Nothing can stop me from getting what I'm going for. That's being great, I was working tirelessly, so I won't hesitate. Gotta get to first place, hands on the golden plate. I'll concentrate, won't hit the brake, just move forward, accelerate. Welcome guys, you are watching Accelerate. Last week, we saw 15-year-old tennis player Robbie grab a trophy and a medal for winning his doubles and singles tennis tournament. Today, we'll catch up with 15-year-old figure skater Mia. She's got her eyes on the medal, but in order to get it, she's got to get through 4 tough routines. Can she impress the judges and rack up enough points to claim that medal? Let's find out.
Today I'll be competing in the Cape Interprovincials figure skating competition. This is the last competition of the season and is held at the ice station in Grand West, Cape Town. There will be figure skaters competing from all over the country in this competition. I'll be competing in 2 solo programs and 2 synchro programs over the course of the weekend. The first program will be the short program, and it contains out of less jumps than in the long program, but more elements. And then the dresses has to fit with the music that you're skating to. I start my day out early. I do a short workout at home before I start packing my bag. Once my bag is packed, I have a light meal. It's important to eat a healthy, balanced meal. Spinning and jumping requires a lot of energy. My mom helps me with my hair and makeup. The reason I do my hair and makeup at home is because there's not always time at the rink. It's important to look neat and presentable on the ice. Once I'm ready, my mom and I pack my bag in the car and we drive off to the rink. Once we arrive at the rink, I get straight to work with my off-ice coach. Figure skating requires a lot of stamina. We do short jogs off the ice. While I'm at the rink, my mom and I, we go through my steps and off movements, and she helps me with my posture. As a figure skating, you need good posture. Visualizing your program in your head is very important because you don't always get enough time on the ice to go over everything. Because if you don't do that and you go straight into everything and you don't stretch, you can hurt yourself. Now the nerves kick in. I am starting to get ready for my program, putting on my boots and tightening it and making sure everything is fine. While the other skaters are doing their programs, we will stand next to the barrier and show support. Before my program starts, I go chat to my friends and we all calm each other down, and the nerves just to relax and not stress about what's going to happen on the ice and just have fun. We wish each other luck. I head off to the ice so that I can go stand with my coach and we can chat a bit about what we're going to do and what's going to happen, and just getting my mindset ready that the competition is starting. Now I'm getting ready for my on-ice warm-up session. After a few practice jumps, my coach calls me aside and we chat a bit, and then he tells me that I should jump higher, and he talks about my technique, and because I'm not jumping high enough, I can't get my leg through and I will fall. I get very nervous, but talking to my coaches calms me down, and landing my jumps calms me down and makes me feel that this is going to be a good competition. My coach would always say the same thing over and over, and when I finally used the advice that he gave me, the jump and the spins would work.
After the break, we'll see if Mia can get over her nerves and pull off a good performance in the next routine. In the meantime, feel free to check out our Facebook page. where you can comment, like, and tell us about the sports that you do. Welcome back to Accelerate. We are gliding on the ice with 15-year-old figure skater Mia. She's about to compete in a final interprovincial skating event for the season that will see her do 4 programs, 2 solo programs and 2 synchronized programs. Will her weeks of preparations pay off? We're about to find out.
My coach encouraged me with a few words about I've done this before, I can do it again and I can do it another million times. It's good to go onto the ice with a positive frame of mind. The announcer calls my name, I get a hug from my coach and I go to my starting position.
Representing Western Province, Mia Investments.
When I hear the sound of my music, I go straight into my routine.
I don't need the city tonight. I just wanna drive and drive. Dancing in the dark is fine, 'cause I got bright lights in my mind.
So I'm gliding around the ice, moving to my first jump. My first jump is the axel. I go into my next move, which is called the combination spin. Spinning on one leg and holding my left leg and my right arm and keeping it for 3 revolutions. Then going into my upright spin, changing foot into the sit spin and then doing a tuck under for another 3. Some people get very dizzy, but I've been training that spin so long that I don't get dizzy in spins much. Next, I'm going into my step sequence, and most of the clusters needs to be on one foot.
I just wanna feel alive. Swimming in the dark so right, 'cause I got bright lights in my mind. The colors won't fade to morning.
My next move, I stop in the middle of the ice and just show the judges what I can do. And then I start on my other cluster. It's very important to have arm movements in your step sequence just to show that you can be elegant in everything that you do. In this point, I feel happy because it's the half of my routine's done and I haven't made one mistake.
Thought this could be paradise. Go chasing stars this evening. Eyes wide shut, fast cars dreaming. Oh, we're tripping at the speed of
I go into my next jump that is called the double salto and I land it and I'm very happy.
colors won't fade to morning.
Now I'm going into my double loop and I managed to stay on the ice, but it wasn't the best execution. I go into my next spin that is called the 1 foot spin and I was doing a broken leg for 8 revolutions. I get to the end of my program and I feel so relieved. It's the end of my program now and now I need a bow in front of everyone. When I get off the ice, I get a big hug from one of the skater moms, and I hope that the judges saw how much effort I put into my program. I'm so relieved after my short program and that I've done everything, that now it's just the long program still have to be done. I'm gonna start with my synchro now, and our team name is Team Rainbow. This is the first time I'm skating with these girls. I'm a bit nervous, but I have to show that I can pull my weight. Synchro is like figure skating, but we do it as a team, and when we're on the ice, we have to skate in patterns and formations, and everyone has to be together. All the skaters introduce themselves and we line up in different lines to do our warm-up block. It's important to do our warm-up so that everyone still knows that they have to skate together and we have to stay in our lines, otherwise it looks very untidy and we don't get the scores that we need to because our lines aren't in formation. It can get confusing about where you need to be because there's so many people on the ice. Because we're practicing so much, our routine basically becomes second nature, so we know exactly what to do. There's not much jumps in this routine, it's just more about spins and footwork and the different elements and the marks. So now we're getting into our starting positions. I lock in with my partner and the captain will show that we are ready to start the program. Our routine is based on the tango. We are all doing the same steps, but we're not all doing it in the same direction. And we're doing an interlocking circle and then go into two separate lines. I go into my first two separate lines, interlocking with each other and going through with a spin. If we don't get the moves correct, it can be very dangerous because we can bump into each other and that could end up in a big disaster. Now we're going into our interlocking circle. Timing is very important because if we don't get it on the right timing, then we can bump into each other. Now we're going into one of our big circles with our partners and we are getting into formation for our no-hold block. And the moves that we're doing in the no-hold block represents like tango moves and all the sharp moves that we have to do. Now we are doing a few different elements into our next sequence that we have to do, which is called the pivoting block. That is when we are in 4 different lines, moving into 3 lines and then pivoting around the ice. It's almost the end of the program and we're all very excited. We do our last element in the program, which is quite important because that is when everyone needs to go up on the same time and end at the same time as well. We separated into 4 different lines and each one's doing a different thing. But afterwards we split into 2 and we do spirals and spread eagles and then we stop. It's the end of the program. At the end of my program, we greet the judges. We all feel relieved, especially the new people, because it's the first time skating the program and we were all quite nervous. While we are still on the ice, we get our picture taken. Now I'm getting ready to skate the long program with the synchro. I feel quite nervous because it's also the first time skating the program with these people. Before we go onto the ice, some parents take some pictures and we're all excited and nervous at the same time. Before we get onto the ice, our coach gives us some final words and encourages us with what we're going to do and telling us stuff that we need to remember. We are getting onto the ice now. I'm feeling quite nervous. I'm nervous because I haven't skated this program in a competition with this team before. We're standing with our partners and we have to look into each other's eyes. Now we're going into 4 lines to form a traveling wheel. And while we're doing the traveling wheel, we are doing steps in between. Now we're separating into our 2 pairs and we have to do a pair element down the ice. And we have to go through other pairs. One of the skaters loses their footing and falls. But it doesn't affect me though. We are doing a small waltz around the ice, going into a pivoting and a spiral revolution. In the end, we do our solo elements. Some of us are with 3 people and some of us are doing our own thing, and that all has to lead up into doing the same element, and then we end off in our program with our ending element. After the routine is done, I feel so relieved because it's my first time skating this program and nothing major happened. I feel very honored to skate with this team because I'm a new person in the team and they made me feel welcome and they helped me when I struggled with something, and at the end we all worked as a team and we got through the program. And hopefully the judges will see how much effort we put into this program.
After the break, we'll continue with Mia, as she's got one more performance to impress the judges. In the meantime, check out our Facebook page, like us, and maybe connect with other accelerators. Welcome back, guys. This is Accelerate. We are sharpening our skates with 15-year-old figure skater Mia. She's got one last solo program for the day. Can she see her final performance through and end the season off on a high? Let's find out.
Doing my final routine, and my dad and my sister came to watch and support me. I do some warm-up exercises with my off-ice coach before I do my long program. I feel nervous and I don't feel nervous. It's like in between because I've done this program a few times, but I know I can do it again. Now I'm about to start my routine and I'm waiting for the announcer to call my name. I start off by greeting the judges and go stand in the middle of the ice. My routine starts and I have to get into focus, and in this program I have to put a lot of emotion into it because you need emotion to actually describe how you're working and what you're doing in this program. I get into my first jump and I landed and I feel happy. Second jump is the double salco and I landed, and that was one of the jumps that I struggled with. But I landed, so I feel good. And now I'm in my combination spin again, where I have to catch my foot with my right arm and going to an upright spin and then change feet into a sit spin for 3 revolutions and then into a tuck under. Now I'm going into steps for my next jump, because in front of a jump you need to get the entrance element. Going to my third jump, which is the double loop. and I landed. So now I'm going into my fourth jump, which is the double lutz. And this jump is, I think for me, the most difficult jump I have. I go into my double lutz and it's a very difficult jump, and then I fall. The fall really hurts because you're landing on ice and it's hard. At this point I'm quite frustrated with myself because I know I can land the jump and I've landed it 1,000 times and now it just did not land. But I go on with my routine and I'm going into my step sequence now. In the step sequence there's a lot of elements and clusters that you have to do to get the right amount of scores in your step sequence. Doing the different elements in your program makes you quite tired. So when you get to the half mark of your program, you are out of breath and tired, but you need to carry on and finish it. I'm ending my step sequence with a twizzle with my arms above my head and going into my last jump. I don't land the jump. I'm on my feet, but I don't land it. And now I'm going into my last spin, which is the flying sit spin, changing into the broken leg spin. Changing into the back sit. And that's the end of my program. I feel frustrated and tired at the same time because I could have done better in this program. At the end of the program, I have to go bow in front of everyone and in front of the judges. Once I'm off of the ice and I'm finished taking my picture, the ice fairies will bring me the stuff that the spectators threw on the ice. So at the end of the day we have a parade, and followed by the parade is a prize giving. I feel quite relieved that the whole skating competition is over and that it's the end of the skating season. I managed to get 2 prizes for the synchro, the novice and the juniors. But I didn't manage to get any medals for my solo. But now I will work harder and put more effort into my solo to try and get medals.
So after a tough day on the ice, Mia has ended the day by grabbing gold in an interprovincial figure skating event. And we know next season she'll be wanting to achieve a lot more. Keep it up, Mia. We all know you got this. Tune in next week when we'll meet 2 new accelerators trying their best to reach the top. Don't miss out. In the meantime, check out our Facebook page for more news and views.